Within this sector of the Dreamarium, the events that you're experiencing right now, you're reliving over and over again. They are like pixelizations within this disc. You are reliving and re-experiencing over and over again. You are as much living the 5-year-old you as you are the age you are now, or the 20-year-old you, or the 15-year-old you. And you're constantly I won't go into that right now. There's a reason for this difficulty that I can't get. I'm not going to be creative with this final communication. It's strictly communication. I don't want to make a documentary. To explain the lighted womb, the Dreamarium, the Originator, why co-designers exist in an environment where designers form the environment of the dream fields. You got a sun and a moon. They project they're the projectors that are creating your nightscapes, your dayscapes. I hate to tell you this, what you're seeing every day is an illusion. I know when you touch it, you feel it. I know when you feel pain, misery, and sorrow, it's the sensories. And no, don't get into that stupid movie, this Matrix thing, or any of that, or that Avatar stuff that body, transfers consciousness to another body and animates it. There might be some intelligence to that, but there's no computers, there's no artificial intelligences that are running like a Matrix, as they call it in the movie or whatever. Don't even worry about that movie. Do not trust anything you're going to hear from any professor, just don't trust anything in the institutions. They are the eternal essences that will remain within the tomb of the dark womb for an eternity. They are a dull light form, like the sun and the moon. They're just a duller luminosity. Your lights are your frequencies. I could pick you up from all of them very quickly. You have to understand that this is not easy, because remember when I was telling you about black flags and then all the bad events was happening right after? I'm not a psychic. I saw the movie. I know what happens. I've seen far into your future. What happened to me to start making sudden reality was I was, as I told you, informed that they are scheduled to perish. And as I said to you, I thought it was originally you and the kids. And when you got into that car crash with that big truck head on at 120, you should have been dead, all of you. I honestly thought the Jinn, as they're known, the Wanginos, I guess in the West they refer to them as space aliens, that they come from Uranus. Yeah, I saw them in the clouds, so they come from another total different planet. Those are not even planets out there. It just irritates me what humans can come up with. There is no out there. That field is a field within the earth, and I'm frustrated. You've been indoctrinated into conditioned belief systems for far too long. Fuck, am I angry. You're going to need to drop all your human conditioned belief systems, your concepts, all of it. Just toss it. This is the most frustrating thing to do. It's like going into another continent and trying to speak to other beings that don't know your language. I'm speaking a language the humans have never heard. It's referred to as the truth. The war is not with those below the mountains in Lemuria. The Lemurians control what is perceived as a human race. They are not the creators. Beyond the icy divides that you call circles, North Pole, South Pole, whatever you want to call them, you're inside of a terrarium. It's not flat. It's not round like a spinning beach ball. You're in a terrarium, a dream field. It's parallels this way, not circular, not bumpy because there's mountains and it's all flat earth. You're in parallel fields. You're in dream fields. I'm getting angry. It's so simple to understand how your projection of your light, your eternal essence above, is looking down at you. You're projecting down below. That's why you see your face looking back at you. I know this sounds like wild fantasy. You're projecting into these fields, is what I'm telling you. You're projecting your little lights, just like a laser does, onto this little piece of plastic called a DVD, and it transforms it before you into a 3D reality. The only difference with the secondary dream field you're experiencing right now is you've got heightened senses. The dream field you exist in right now offers you additional sensories. Unfortunately, you're in the dark womb. It has a lot of negativity to it. I wish I had more time. But I'm going to be forward with you. I had just been informed. My timeline here, within the time rings, coming to an end soon. In this field. But just very, very short period of time. I will no longer be projecting into these fields. I'm severing the connection to this projection. This what we call realizations. What you think is materialization is actually a realization, but it's within dream fields, and you're going to sense all kinds of smells, sounds, feelings, touches, whatever you want, sights, sounds, whatever you want. It's generated from the highest parallel field above within your terrarium. It captures the eternal essences of pure light that leave the lighted womb, puts them into hibernation. They project into a field below, and then they reproject their energy into another subfield that you're experiencing now. A process you refer to as reincarnation. It's not so stupid, it's actually quite real. So when you hear people talking about astral projections, well, projection is a key word. When you hear about people doing an LSD trip or a DMT trip and they're talking about this, all these wild adventures, but it gets so damn real. In essence, it is real. They are entering the second, the one above you, the other, they're projecting into that field. The projection ceases in this field, and the projection is focused on that field. Even those that experience near-death experiences say, well, I enter the light and I see my family and I see this, and my life flashes like a blink of an eye. It's true. Your life does flash in a blink of an eye, because touch yourself right here on the shoulder. You can't touch that person again. Disappeared into the memory fields. When you take a picture of somebody, you say, oh, look, their movement, you can see some blur. What you're actually seeing is called the materialization fading. It's fading into the memory field. Too much for you to understand. The facilitator cells are detaching, but the pixelization remains the same within the time rings. Too much for you to understand, too creative for you to understand. You've been lied to since the very beginning, and that's all part of the program. And I'll use it, not the Earth program, the consciousness that rules the Earth. No, it's the Lemurians. They already told you you're an adopted race, but your creators, they come from beyond your terrarium. Sounds like too much for you to grasp. I know it sounds like it's all fantasy. There's a reason they're so adamant to keep you unaware of whether or not you've seen UFOs or whether they're real. You were with me when you saw them in Jasper. You were walking with me down the back roads when we were out in the acreage area. You saw them above a house. Your daughter saw the triangular one, which she was calling the dog ends. Come on. Not only are they real, they've been here from the very beginning, before the human race. Those beyond the icy divide, beyond the perimeters of your terrarium, they're from Ananaquia. The Ananaquians created the human race, no different than you can do so in a test tube today. And they say, I'm going to say it straight up. They say they tried to flood out the human race because they found that the humans were all evil. Well, duh. Everything be evil in the dark womb, including those from Ananaquia and Lemuria. They as well beyond their own parallel dream fields within time rings. Everything within the Dreamarium, from the lighted womb to the dark womb. All the parallel dream fields. All of it's recorded, your every thought. Nothing to be hidden. I know this is, I don't want to be sounding spiritual or religious, so you're going to have to really hold on, because if I sever my connection to this physical projection, what you experience as materialization and is really called realization. What's the sense of having materialization if you don't realize that you exist and that there's an environment that surrounds you? Don't worry about the words materialization. Concentrate on the words realization. Even within a dream, you have to realize you're there. Everything of existence is all strictly dream fields. There is no material fields. None exist. None of them could. It'd be the same in the lighted womb. The same as it is here in the dark womb. All the sectors of different, what you want to call worlds, planets, whatever, I don't care anymore. All sectors and realms within the lighted womb, they would be similar in nature to the dark womb, where you experience your realizations in the lighted womb the same way you do here. You experience it in the form of materialization. At least the sensories perceive materialization. There is none. How can you really be real if you cease to exist every second you inhale and exhale? That second that just departed you entered the memory fields. The difference between you at the age of 1, 5, 10, and now, that 1 second ago, they can only be just remembered, not touched. We need to skip on. You need to understand right now, drop all human concepts. When I'm speaking to you about the Dreamarium, the Originator, the designers of environmental, what you call the dream fields, these what you're perceiving as the environment of an earth, as what you call a world or a planet. The designers create the environments, and the co-designers, they come into it and they project their lasers, if you will, onto the DVD. But they do so in accordance with the original design, pre-scripted. All things that are happening I've known all along. I did not create the hurricanes. I did not create the tsunamis. I was in shock because I'd already seen the video and I was remembering it. The problem was I was remembering too much. This is why I started going a different path. And when I had to make the agreement, when I was told you were scheduled to perish, and then I found out after I made the agreement with the jinn, then I realized I wasn't focused on those I love most. It was a bigger, it was global. I use the word global because you can grasp it. You're not a globe. You're not existing in a globe. As I said, you're living in parallel fields. Anyways,